have a huge task and realize that you couldn't do it alone? And then you figured out that it made more sense to work with partners so you could complete that enormous project? Well, it's like that on the International Space Station. Think global partnership. It's the only way to take on something so big. But that's not all. The U.S. portion of the International Space Station is an official U.S. national lab, and it's open for business to the private sector. Add to that, we have 2 new vehicles in development by 2 commercial companies to get us back and forth to the ISS. It's true, NASA has partnered with Boeing and SpaceX to give our astronauts a ride. We're talking global partnerships and commercialization on today's episode. Hi, I'm NASA astronaut Tracy Dyson. Welcome to Station Life.
Houston on 2 for velocity calculation, steps 45 and 46. We're moving on to step 5.
You want to go right now for that activity?
Copy, thank you.
Okay, Tracy, we copy, and that's good information. We'll pass it along.
Welcome back. In this episode of Station Life, we're going to focus on global partnerships and commercialization. So what does this mean, really? Well, the International Space Station came about due to a global partnership between 15 countries. And international cooperation is the name of the game. The ISS program's greatest accomplishment is as much a human achievement as it is a technological one. How best to plan, coordinate, and monitor the varied activities of the program's many organizations. Over the past 15 years, highly skilled astronauts and cosmonauts from these 15 countries have risked their lives to conduct over 1,700 science investigations in one of the harshest work environments around. In this episode, we're going to see how we are stronger together through global partnerships and international cooperation. We're going to learn about the commercialization of low Earth orbit and how the private sector research on the ISS is managed through the Center for the Advancement of Science in Space, CASIS. We'll also check in with the Commercial Crew Program and meet the astronauts chosen to fly our next generation of vehicles built by Boeing and SpaceX. Next up, a little ditty about the latest ISS facts and figures and a music video featuring 93 Million Miles by Jason Mraz. So, strap yourself in and get ready. We're having a cavalcade of information coming right at you.
It took 41 rocket launches just to bring the building materials to the construction site, and more than 100 other launches along the way to ferry up the human crew members and deliver the supplies they would need to live and work. The largest peacetime engineering and construction project in human history. And it wouldn't have happened if the nations of the world hadn't joined forces. But they did. And that cooperative spirit is alive and thriving right now on board the International Space Station. The major space agencies of the world each have their own independent exploration program. Yet they work together on one project that's vital to humankind's future in space. Operating a joint research laboratory and technology development station 250 miles above the Earth. The United States, Russia, Japan, Canada, and the nations of Europe each provide and train crew members who operate this space station.
We have come to know each other very well, to really enjoy each other's company, enjoy working together. I consider them very close friends.
При нашем взаимодействии внутри корабля мы отталкиваемся прежде всего от целей и задач, почему именно мы сидим в этом корабле. И поэтому у нас никаких особых проблем во взаимодействии, никаких нет, в силу нашей профессиональной способности.
I think each country has its unique strengths and good part and also a weakness. So if we cooperate each other, we can cover the other nations' weak part and help each other.
Over the years, the partners have contributed the vehicles that bring human beings to orbit, and the ones that make regular deliveries of supplies and materials, plus all the hardware and samples to operate a set of scientific laboratories and experiments that are achieving things that couldn't be done on Earth. The results? in terms of science and technology development, are out of this world.
Having different perspectives, either different scientific perspectives, different international perspectives, has helped bring strength to the work that we do. We've gotten to work with some incredible people around the globe, and we found what we think are some significant findings.
The alpha magnetic spectrometer is a high-energy particle physics experiment designed to study cosmic rays, antimatter, and dark energy. There's 15 countries, about 600 engineers, physicists, scientists, technicians, about 60 different institutes, universities, all over the planet. You get the interaction of all these people, and in the end, you have something that's a whole lot better than what you have done by yourself.
Each space agency takes responsibility for a part of the mission by operating a control room in their own country, which focuses on daily operations in their own labs and modules. The heart of the overall operation is at NASA's Mission Control Center in Houston, where a team coordinates what all the partners are doing.
The Ops Plan team takes all of the requirements handed down from the ISS program, from the international partners, from the flight control team, and from the science community. And we integrate all of those requirements into a timeline, and we uplink it to the crew, and that's how the crew knows what to do on a given day.
With all that effort, over all these years, the partners in the International Space Station have created something that's already provided benefits on Earth and encouraged the growth of a commercial space industry, and is perfectly positioned to continue that mission, supporting future human exploration into deep space.
If you think about all the capability that's on the space station today, it brought out the best in each of the partners. The only way for exploration to be successful is to have that global partnership together, as we have had so far with the space station.
We're going to use the technology of the ATV, 5 very successful ISS resupply missions, to make this incredible contribution to the Orion spacecraft. So the service module will be a very critical part to the Orion spacecraft. It will provide power, it will provide thermal control, and most importantly, it will provide propulsion to the crew module.
Building on the robotics technology we developed to support the space shuttle program and then to assemble the space station, Canada's developed a next-generation Canadarm. This is a state-of-the-art suite of robotics prototypes that will be able to support the critical next steps in exploring the solar system.
У нас в России есть такая поговорка, что один ум хорошо, а 2 еще лучше. Но 2 и 3 это гораздо лучше, потому что, работая в кооперации международной, люди гораздо лучше начинают понимать друг друга.
Better understanding and a common goal combine for a great future out there.
Carl Sagan talked about the pale blue dot, and recently the Curiosity rover took a lovely picture of Earth and the Moon above the horizon of Mars. And it was clear, looking at the photo under the best possible magnification, you couldn't tell which side of it we came from. And yet it's an inspiring photo for all of humanity. I think that as we create our little microcosms, our little worlds out there, they have to reflect the world that we come from, and that all the cultures and all of the backgrounds and all of the gifts that we bring, different points of view, are essential in any high-functioning world. You need a diversity of opinion. You need a diversity of thought and creativity. And I think that's what the partnership brings. We all have a common dream, and we all have different paths to get there. And those paths go through the International Space Station.
What is CASIS? CASIS is the Center for the Advancement of Science in Space, and it manages the National Laboratory on the International Space Station. CASIS is launching a new era of space research to help reduce cost, increasing access and opportunity. CASIS is your gateway to innovation, breakthroughs, commercial R&D research, giving scientific, commercial, and educational industries equal access to space. For the betterment of humankind. CASIS is appointed by Congress to identify the opportunities for the International Space Station, to take advantage of its unique environments to generate a return on investments, not only financially, but to improve life on Earth as well for the citizens of the United States. We do this by breaking down barriers, assisting in research, connecting, hardware, and funding. CASIS, bringing home the magic of space.
One of NASA's goals is to help commercialize low Earth orbit. Guess what? That's where the International Space Station is, low Earth orbit. The ISS absolutely requires methods to get cargo and crew to and from the station. Right now, there are 2 commercial companies flying cargo for NASA. They're Orbital Science Services and SpaceX. The next step is to have commercial crew vehicles. That's right, new rockets to get US astronauts to the ISS. In fact, 2 new vehicles are in development, the CST-100 from Boeing and the Crew Dragon from SpaceX. Now let's hear from the crew selected to fly on these new rockets.
We've come to this program with different backgrounds and different experiences.
We have a chance to build upon a new launch capability for America.
We're part of a partnership, and part of the partnership is to have different abilities, and so the United States having access is extremely important to the effort.
One of the things that really gave us the opportunity to be ready for this is all those systems on the space station or on the space shuttle that we had to learn in order to be prepared for a space flight. So it really has set us up for a mindset of learning new things and being ready for whatever comes at us.
We have a huge team here at NASA, as well as the great teams at SpaceX and Boeing that we'll work with to try to make this vehicle as safe as possible.
Building that partnership, that relationship where we're shoulder to shoulder with these companies as they build this vehicle is really going to be how we're instrumental in making sure the vehicles are ready for the first flights when the time comes.
I'm honored to get the opportunity to participate with this new group and to work with a team to get us onto this next era in spaceflight.
I remember when I launched from Kennedy the first time on a U.S. space shuttle, and it was pretty amazing. So I can only imagine what it's going to be like after this long period of time to get back on a spacecraft at Kennedy and have all family and friends and people from all over the country watching. That's going to be pretty special. And so bringing back home will bring that back home to everybody here. It'll be a pretty exciting moment.
Liftoff, the final liftoff of Atlantis. On the shoulders of the space shuttle, America will continue the dream.
we have liftoff. Liftoff as America returns to space.
The International Space Station, humanity's lasting home in space, and the ultimate emerging market. Its unique environments offer unrivaled opportunities for scientific discovery. CASE's mission is to seek out those ready to put their ideas into orbit and to get them there. Welcome to CASES, bringing home the magic of space.
Just curious.
I think they can actually put ice in here.
Yeah, depending on how much water pressure we have that day, we can do 16 to any now at pretty much any time. If we have good water pressure, we can get you up to around 80. But you're saying Tracy's taking almost all of it. So
You're the one I'm going
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Trying to give you that boost of confidence.
Indeed.
You know what? There have been people living on the International Space Station for 15 years. The first crew headed to the ISS launched on October 31st, the year 2000. So much has happened since then, there is no way we can recap all of that. So instead, we're going to have our first ever music video segment. To start it off, we'll see the latest ISS Facts and Figures music video, followed by 93 Million Miles by Jason Mraz.
Well, here's a few facts about the ISS that 15 countries made a success. Took a lot of space flights for us to build a station as big as a football field. 2 Johns on board, but they got no bath. Orbits the Earth in an hour and a half. Over 200 miles up off the ground, and tipping them scales at 1,000,000 pounds. Making benefits for humanity through new science and technology. Over 200 people have lived on board, the heroes of Earth who were driven to explore space, that is, off the Earth, for the Earth, on the journey to Mars.
Bye.
93 million miles from the sun. People get ready, 'cause here it comes, it's
it's a light, a beautiful light, over the horizon into our eyes. Oh my, how beautiful. Oh my beautiful mother, she told me, son, in life you're gonna go far. If you do it right, you'll love where you are. Just know, wherever you go, you can always come home. 240,000 miles from the moon, we've come a long way to belong here, to share this view of the night, a glorious night. Over the horizon is another bright sky. Oh my, how beautiful. Oh my, irrefutable Father, he told me, son, sometimes it may seem dark, but the absence of the light is a necessary part. Just know you're never alone. You can always come back you can always come back. Every road is a slippery slope. There is always a hand that you can hold on to. Looking deeper through the telescope, you can see that your home's inside of you. Just know that wherever you go, no, you're never alone. You will always get back
Thanks, Ollie. Thanks for getting me home.
Get ready, 'cause here it comes, it's a light, a beautiful light, over the horizon into our eyes.
Welcome back, and thanks for watching this episode of Station Life, highlighting global partnerships and commercialization. Today, we learned how we're stronger together through international cooperation and global partnership. We learned about the commercialization efforts of the ISS, managed by CASIS, and NASA's Commercial Crew and Cargo program. We got a sneak peek at the new Commercial Crew vehicles developed by Boeing and SpaceX, and our very first music video segment. We keep delivering the goods here on Station Life, so be sure to stay in touch and follow us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest research news. And don't forget to download our KickNet on your mobile device. Until next time, stay with us, off the Earth, for the Earth. Ugh, really should have stretched on that one.